If you like what you see, why don't you think about subscribing? And make sure to check out my channel for videos just like this. What is going on, people? It is your boy MrBucketlist, and here we are today at Funspot in Kissimmee, Florida. Now this will be a full review, but before I get into it, let me show you the sections that I'll have within the video in case you want to skip around. Now that we got that out the way, I just want to mention this place is combined with a place called Old Town, which has its own rides, so I'll make sure to include some of that as well. But let's get to it, starting with the park itself. Now, as far as the park, it will remind you of like a carnival or a fair. I mean, it pretty much reminds me of the fair that I used to see back in North Carolina. The only thing is it's permanent, so it's not like a temporary thing. It's there just like any other theme park in Orlando or Kissimmee. With that said, there are two locations. There is Orlando and a Kissimmee location, so two different locations, and you can buy a pass for both. I'll get into that in a bit. But as you can see, like I said, it has an arcade, it has rides. It's a pretty nice laid out place. I mean, it's not like a huge theme park, so I don't think it's like Disney or Universal, but it is a really nice place to go if you want to have some genuine fun without a bunch of crowds. Now there also is go-karts, and so I really love the go-karts. I'll give you an example. So the park was so empty when I was there, I was able to actually have the track to myself. I did about 60 laps and I just got bored for a while, so I just asked the guy if I can stop, but literally that's how it was. Same thing with the roller coaster, I was on it by myself. Outside of that, you're going to have your little standard rides, like little spinny rides or whatever you want to call them. You have your Ferris wheel, you have things like that. So like I said, all type of rides are going to be there. You have one big roller coaster, and then you have, I think, two different go-kart tracks, and then you also have like the slingshot, which is in the Old Town portion, so you have to pay separate for that. And then you also have the Skycoaster, which I'll show you in a bit. Now, that was the main reason why I actually went to this particular fun spot in Kissimmee, because of the Skycoaster. So I'll show you the full video, at least the majority of it, so you can check it out. They also have like a little mouse coaster for little kids and stuff like that. Which brings me into our next portion, which is the actual rides. Now, like I said, for the rides, I mean, they're pretty much going to be carnival, fair rides, whatever you want to call it, but they're all really good fun. There's only a couple of rides you have to pay extra for, things like the Skycoaster and the slingshot if you were to do it. Everything else is going to be included. They have the Himalayas, which is always good. The go-karts are all included, but one thing I will give you a tip on is the park is not allowed to record on the rides. So which kind of disappointed me, because Universal, Disney, everything park that's in Florida usually lets you record on the rides as long as you have some type of strap or whatever. But as soon as I walked up there, the girl was like, "No, you know you can't take that on there." And I'm like, "Yep, I know now." And then another guy, when I paid for the Skycoaster, same thing. He was like, "Yeah, you can't, even though it's strapped to your body, you can't take it on. We had a special thing for it, but someone stole it." So that kind of really pissed me off. But either way, like I said, just don't go there expecting to actually bring your cameras on unless you're like a huge YouTuber, which I'm not at the moment, so they don't really care about people like us. So just kind of have that expectation. So with that said, I'll leave you with some of the clips from people that actually were able to get their stuff on somehow. And I'll also show you my Skycoaster ride as well, so check it out. Now, as far as the price and location, now, like I said, there is 2 different locations, the one in Kissimmee, one in Orlando. Which one is better? Honestly, I'll say the one in Kissimmee, because not only does it have Old Town, which is a separate, its own little thing beside it, but I mean, Orlando is just going to be busy. So no matter when you go, what time of day or what time during the week, there's going to be more people there than this at Kissimmee, and they virtually have the same rides. I think Kissimmee has one more little roller coaster there, but then they don't have the slingshot or whatever the case may be. Like I said, it's going to be the same experience no matter what. Not to mention, like I said earlier, you can actually buy a pass that gets you to both different places. So if you want to go to both and check them both out, I mean, they're not far from each other. You can buy something called the Mega Pass to go to both the parks. Now for me, I didn't feel like doing that, so that's why I didn't go to the Orlando location. The only major thing that the Orlando location does actually have is actually the Gatorland portion of it, or Gator Spot is what they call it. There's little alligators and stuff like that. As you can see on my page, I actually went to Gatorland, like the real Gatorland. So there's really no point in going to another Gator place in the same week. So I just kind of skipped it. So like I said, just make sure, and the tip is going to be, again, to buy the Mega Pass if you want access to both the parks. Now they open at least during the fall around 2 o'clock, but they stay open until 12. So you have plenty of time to actually do both if you want to. Now let's go ahead and head on to the crowd. Alright, so as far as the crowd, for me, at least when I went, it was on I think a Tuesday I went, or Wednesday. It was during the week, but it was beautiful. I mean, no one was there. It was actually like during the week, and I went around 2 o'clock, maybe 3. As you can see in these videos, it was just completely empty. Like, no one was there. Like I said, I went on a race car track and just lit laps over and over, which was kind of boring. And then there was another track that I went to where I actually had a couple other people with me as well, but regardless, like I said, if you want to ride anything, you're going to get front row. You're going to be by yourself on the rides, or with your partner, whoever you're with, your friends. For me, I went by myself because it was right when I was supposed to be at work. So just remember that. Like I said, the crowds are not bad at all during the week. Now, the reason why I say this is a tip and try to come during the week is because if you come on the weekends, like I initially tried to do my first time, I came on a Sunday night. Even though it was potentially a holiday right after, I think Columbus Day was the next day, but it was like going to a club, like all these biker gangs and car clubs and stuff like that, and just people hanging out and girls in heels and just that ratchet type of ghetto stuff that you'll see at a club. It was there at Funspot. And I mean, I went there, it was about 10 o'clock, so I mean, I actually know when I got there it was about 6 o'clock, so I mean, it was getting later, but at the same time, I was like, man, I don't want to see this mess at a mini theme park. So I mean, just kind of pick your battles when you want to go. And this is at the Kissimmee location, so maybe the Orlando's different. I don't really know because I didn't go around that time period. But just keep that in mind. If you can come, or if you come as a family or whatever, try to go during the week in the fall time, because that's going to be the slowest season to go. Now, my last section before I get into the rating is going to be the fun factor. Now, as far as the fun factor, like I said, it's literally like coming to a fair. And if you have like those little all-day tickets or whatever you want to call them, we used to have a stand when I would go. But it's like doing that. You don't pay for each ride unless you want to. You just buy a wristband and you just keep riding on and on. And so they do have food and stuff like that there. I didn't buy any, so I don't really have much in my video to show. But it was general fair food, like fried stuff and footlongs and all that type of stuff. Just junk food that you'll find at the fair. The prices look pretty decent from what I was seeing. About $7.99 for a full meal, or $8, whatever you want to call it. So, like I said, it's definitely worth checking that out. As far as, like I said, if you're into that type of thing. Now, with that said, for my rating, because this is a place that's in Orlando, I mean, a lot of people aren't going to come to Florida to go to a fair. They're going to come to Florida to go to Disney or a beach or just most other places outside of something like a fair. So, with that said, as far as my rating, it's going to be, as right now, it's going to be a maybe try it out. Like I said, this is kind of an experience you can find anywhere. It just depends on where you're going and what time you're going. But if you do live in Florida, I would say at least check it out. I mean, especially if you want to try something different that's not as crazy as a theme park but still has rides, this is the place to go to. Just remember, like I said, you cannot record on those rides. So definitely just think about that if you want to get some really, really crazy videos. With that said, again, my name is MrBucketlist. I do appreciate you all watching my videos. If you don't mind, give me a subscribe, a like if you thought the video was helpful. And definitely come and check out my other videos. I have tours. I plan to do a tour of each and every park, a walkthrough, and then also a review or a mixture of both. So try to check out my channel and see what you think. And until then, I'll see you next time. Peace.